Starting our journey at the Nebraska Union, located on city campus of UNL. Okay, let's go. Now we're about to cross our street down 14th to the Capitol area, so let's go there. As you can see, we have a mixed squirrel, genetic rarity. Okay. That's going in it. Starting to get into the more gentrified area. You can see kind of coming up ahead, we have an art supply store, a bookstore, and another clothing store. The bookstore is called The Novel Idea, and it was started about 25 years ago, so let's go inside. Hey. Good, how are you?
Doing great, kind of surrounded.
All right.
Love the t-shirt.
Can we record a little bit in here?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, it's for a class.
Yeah, sure. You're catching us at kind of a funny moment because we have all of these books that just came in.
Nice.
We have many that will go out free, and then these white boxes that are in the staff space or store space. Those are all from a professor's collection that we purchased last week.
Cool.
So yeah, there's some very neat books in there.
All right.
We just haven't quite gotten to them yet.
All right. Let's go downstairs.
Oh, there's downstairs.
Yep.
Enjoy, and let me know if you need anything, guys.
Yep,
Okay?
thanks.
Thank you.
So this store specializes in used books. They're a really friendly store, and they do a lot of outreach in the community, and they donate a lot of books to local causes. And they also, every month, usually have sales and charity fundraisers to support various organizations in the local community. Well, we're about to pass O Street. We just got out of the Novel Idea. We'll be going down O Street a little bit more later, but notice how gentrified and fancy this area is. And we'll compare that to the different aesthetic down the road later. Okay. Now we have approached St. Mary's, which is located just across the street from the Capitol building. St. Mary's was actually, the building was constructed in 1888. It actually used to be a wood frame, older Disciples of Christ church that was bought by the then Diocese of Omaha, Nebraska. When the Diocese of Lincoln was founded, this was actually the Roman Catholic Cathedral. In the early 1900s, this whole place, most of this place was burned down, and the current building that you see was dedicated in 1911. Let's go inside and check it out. So in the 1960s, they built a brand new cathedral out by Southeast High School, and that is the current cathedral of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Lincoln. So as you can see, there's even some signage around the building that still says that this building is the cathedral, because like I said, it was the cathedral for a long time, up until the 1960s. We have and O Street. As you can see, it's a very different environment than just a few blocks down the street. You can see a less desirable side. So getting a better look at some of the establishments on O, you can see just a bunch of hollowed out buildings, some bars, which, you know, aren't bad per se, but it's definitely a different landscape than what we were witnessing back on 14th Street. Okay, now we're approaching some thrift and antique stores on O. Right here we got the game room, which is kind of like a GameStop-esque type store. It's not that good. Then we have a antique store called Timeless Treasures. And now we're coming up on a Goodwill store. Now, Goodwill in Lincoln. Goodwill in general was started in Massachusetts in the early 19th century. Goodwill was brought to Lincoln in the 1930s by almost a disciple of the original Goodwill founders. The Family Thrift Center, otherwise known as the thrift store that uses people's donation for their personal gain. After interviewing an employee, I figured out that while they do get donations from everyday people, the money that they raise doesn't go towards any charitable organization. It just goes into their pockets. So while they do have excellent stuff here, avoid shopping here at all costs. Okay. So the last stop on our tour is St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic Church, otherwise known as the Newman Center. This is where all Catholics congregate on campus to worship and have fun. This originally started as the Newman Club, which was in the early 20th century, around 1912. In 1960, the original Newman Center was built in this very location. However, it had to be torn down a few years ago because it just wasn't big enough to accommodate all the Catholic students on campus. And shortly after Easter in 2015, this building was officially completed and dedicated, and now it is used by over 2,500 Catholics on UNL's campus. Let's take a look inside. And that concludes our tour. Thanks for watching. Just kidding, guys. That actually wasn't all. I was planning on going, because that was filmed on Friday, and I was going to film it after my volunteering on Saturday, but I ended up getting sick. So I'm just going to explain the rest of the journey. So from St. Thomas Aquinas, we would have walked back to O Street, and we would have walked west on O. We would have passed Goodwill, Family Thrift Center, and all those stores again. Eventually, we would hit the Catholic Social Services Thrift Store, which is my personal favorite thrift store in all of Lincoln, and all of Ever, because when you buy stuff from there, it goes to helping the homeless, the disabled, and it also helps with just various other good charitable things, like also helping refugees. So, good place to shop, highly recommend there. And then if you cross O Street and start walking into this neighborhood with a bunch of used car dealerships and warehouses, you'll stumble on a unique store. It's actually a bait and tackle shop. And when I first took the bus by there early on this year, I was like, what? Why would there be a tackle shop here? Well, this tackle shop is actually a relic of the former Haymarket. So, long story short, this tackle shop, from the 70s up until 2008, was actually located smack dab in the middle of Haymarket. And because back then the rent was cheap, and it just seemed like a good place for it. But when they built Antelope Valley Parkway and other bridges in the area, he had to relocate as they were gentrifying the area. So in 2008, he relocated to his current location, which is just kind of on the fringes of downtown. It's located between Husker Hall and North Antelope Valley, the actual valley. It's located about halfway in between. And I went in and I talked to the owner, and I asked him, why do you have a bait shop downtown? The nearest water body that has any living fish in it is Holmes Lake, which is probably 5 miles away, if not more. And it takes about 10 minutes to drive there. And he said, it's just always been here. Why should I move? And that response struck me. It struck me as, whoa, this is the last original pre-gentrified Haymarket building. And I noticed also on the outside of his store that it was going out of business. He said it was for retirement, but in all honesty, most of his stuff looked like it had been there a while and he wasn't getting a whole lot of people coming. So once his bait shop dies, the old Haymarket will die with it. Thanks for watching, guys.